doesn't have a backseat. England's got a new queen. Marciano, Liberace, Sansa, and a goodbye. Start the fire. People's always burning since the world was running. Start the fire. No retreat tonight. Trying to find Joseph Stalin, Malankov, Nasser, and Prokofiev, Rockefeller, Campanella, Communist Bloc. Roy Cohn, Juan Perot, Toscanini, Dacron, Yen Yen, Fubo, rock around the clock. Einstein, James Dean, Brooklyn's got a winning team. Davy Crockett, Peter Pan, Elvis Presley, Disneyland, Bardo, Budapest, Alabama, Khrushchev, Princess Grace, Peyton Place, trouble in the Suez. Start the fire. There's always burning since the world's been turning. Start the fire. Little Rock, Pasternak, Mickey Mantle, Kerouac, Sputnik, Joe and Liebridge on the River Kwai, Lebanon, Charles de Gaulle, California baseball, start on a homicide, children of the little Miami. Buddy, howdy, Ben Hur, Space Monkey, Mafia, Hula Hoops, Castro, Edsel a no-go, U2, Sigmund Reed, Payola and Kennedy, Chubby Checker, Psycho, Belgians in the Congo. Start the fire. There's always burning since the world was turning. Start the fire. No retreat tonight. Trying to find Hemingway, Eichmann, stranger in a strange land, Dylan, Berlin, Bay of Pigs invasion, Lawrence of Arabia, British Beatlemania, Ole Miss, John Glenn, Liston Deeds, Patterson, Pope Paul, Malcolm X, British politician, sex, JFK, blown away. What else do I have to say? Start the fire. It was always burning since the world was turning. Start the fire. No retreat tonight. Trying to find the control, Ho Chi Minh, Richard Nixon, back again, moonshot, Woodstock, Watergate, punk rock, Reagan, Palestine, terror on the airline, Ayatollahs in Iran, Russians in Afghanistan, Wheel of Fortune, Sally Ride, heavy metal, suicide, foreign deaths, homelessness, AIDS, crack, burning death, hypodermics on the shore, China's under martial law, rock and roll, cola wars, I can fight it anymore. When we are gone, still burn on and on. And on and on and on and on and on. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world was turning. We didn't start the fire. We didn't find it, tried to find it. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning since the world was turning. We didn't start the fire, but we didn't find it. We tried to find it. We didn't start the fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Donald Trump Jr.
How's everyone doing today? You having some fun? You ready to take your country back? Are you a little upset that they've been lying to you like they have for the last few years? All right, so before they get off the stage, I got to thank my children, especially Chloe, who was basically functioning as my Jill Biden to make sure that I was capable of walking onto a stage. Now, think about this, guys. We're running against a party that wants to take away your AR-15, but they gave a vegetable the nuclear codes. Think about that. Think of how insane that all is. Each and every day, there's a new measure of stupidity, a new level of asinineness. And what's great is, it looks like they're sticking with Joe. After lying to us for 5 years, that this guy is competent, that this guy is fit to serve. Raise your hand here. If Joe Biden showed up to pick you up in an Uber, would you get in the car? Would you let a friend get in the car? Would you let your worst enemy get in that car? Maybe. Dumb ways to die, right, folks? But this is what we're dealing with each and every day. Just this week, Joe Biden announced that he's going to veto a required proof of citizenship to vote. I wonder why that would be, folks. Why do you think they would stop that? You're right. We do. We have to stop the steal. We have to beat the margin of fraud. To win by 2, we got to win by 6. That's the game they've been setting up. There's a reason they've let in 15 million people. Venezuela right now is the safest it's been in decades because all their criminals reside in our neighborhoods. That's what's going on. There's no other explanation for it. They're not even hiding from it at this point. They realize they can't run on the economy. They can't run on inflation. The adults that are back in charge have, let's just say, failed us miserably. And we've seen it each and every day. Remember, the adults are going to be back in charge. They told us this. And let's just say, I don't feel it yet, guys. It's been 3.5 years. You'd think you'd see it by now, right? I am a reasonably spoiled individual. And if I go to the grocery store, if I take my kids to McDonald's and I'm pissed off, no, seriously, what does everyone else feel? If I get it, if I see it, how do the Democrats not see it? How do our representatives in Washington, D.C. not understand it? We went from a time of peace and prosperity, success for everyone in our country, to a time of disaster, war, death, destruction, poverty, and it's only going to get worse if they keep doing it. Remember, I talk about the Noah Center, right? The adults are going to be back in charge, and we got our Secretary of State on a world stage after the disastrous Afghan withdrawal saying with a straight face that he was shocked and dismayed that the Taliban, folks, the Taliban did not install, and I quote, a more diverse and inclusive government. I would say end of quote, but then they'd say I'm Joe Biden reading from the teleprompter. Now, but think about it. He's like Ron Burgundy. If you put it on the teleprompter, he will read it, folks. He can't make that distinction. But what's scarier, guys, is they allowed this guy to be in charge. They told you with a straight face that this is the guy that was going to bring reason to the world. He was going to keep you safe. He's the guy you can count on with 4,276 years of experience in Washington, D.C. And now we see it. But think about it. It wasn't just the media lying to us about his competence. I love you too. We need more love, folks. And that's what it is, guys. You know what this is? Right now, it's about love. It's about love of country. It's about love of our future generations and our families. That's what we're fighting for, because I can assure you, Donald Trump didn't need this job. He didn't need it in 16, and against all odds, against the biggest onslaught of media attacks, against the biggest and unprecedented onslaught of Democrat opposition, against opposition from people within his own party who would tell their constituency that they agreed with everything. He faced opposition from them, and he still got it done. And Paul Ryan, well said. With Republicans like Paul Ryan, who needs Democrats? But remember, folks, it's not just the media. It's not just the Democrat elite. You have a bunch of Senate races going on right now. Sherrod Brown in Ohio, John Tester in Montana. They vote with Joe Biden almost 100% of the time. They told you with a straight face, this guy is the right guy for us. And look at the results. Abject failure. But they pretend like they don't have anything to do with him. Now they're distancing themselves from him because they're running a campaign. They're running a race. But you voted with them 100% of the time. You're on the record repeatedly telling us this guy's going to deliver for you peace and prosperity and success. And he's failed across the board. We got to remember, guys, this isn't about the presidency. We need to win everything. We need to win school boards. We need to win state legislatures. We need to win dog catcher. And we have to hold those who lied to us for the past 5 years accountable for their lies. And honestly, it was longer than that, right? It was really 8 years. Because the second my father took the oath of office, they went after him. They went after me. I know. I did 50 hours of congressional testimony. Now, I understand that I am not the upstanding citizen that Hunter Biden is. I get that. I understand. No, I get it. In my next life, I want to be a Democrat because you can actually be a crackhead that sells out your country across the board, and it's just fine. They will protect you and take care of you. We don't have that luxury. But what we have is great people like you who are willing to stand up, who see through the nonsense, who are willing to push back. Now everyone sees it. That's why they're running their importation operation, right? Because they realize that even reliable Democrat voting blocs aren't voting Democrat anymore. We see that here in the great state of Florida because people from Cuba and Venezuela who were escaping real persecution, they don't want to bring communism to America. And that's what they're doing. But think of what they did to my father and our businesses and everything, right? 37 felony prosecutions, a $500 million fine. They fined our organization $500 million almost for paying back loans on time with interest. No, but just to be clear, Boeing Airlines, a major company, just got fined $240 million for 2 plane crashes where they admit some sort of fraud and negligence that killed 340 people. Just for perspective, so you understand where we are. 340 people by a major corporation that's acknowledging their guilt in the matter. 340 people dead. They get fined $243 million. We get fined almost 500 for paying back loans on time. No. That's the perspective. And guess what, guys? If they can do it to Trump, they can do it to you. But more importantly, if they will do it to Trump, they will do it to each and every one of you that stands up for the freedoms, our beliefs, our rights, the things that this country was founded upon. And that's why we have to be here to take it back. It's why we have to say enough is enough. We have to take on that swamp. We have to take on the bureaucracy. And they're going after my father now harder than ever before because they understand now he knows the game. When he came in as an outsider, it's, I get it. We came in as an outsider. It's a little different. It's a little different. You have to learn it. That takes time, right? The Plum Book, the 4,000 jobs assigned by the president. Man, I think he'd been in Washington, D.C. for 2 cumulative days prior to winning the presidency. You don't know who those people are. You don't know who you can trust. A lot of them you can't. Now you know, right? So this is what we have to fight back against. The corruption, the lies, the gaslighting, the nonsense and the noise. And we're not in a fair fight. We don't have a $1 trillion institution that is our mainstream media backing us. We don't have that benefit. They'll lie about us all day long, with the exception of 1 or 2 people I see on the dais up there. We don't have a $1 trillion institution of big tech. We don't have that. These are the same people that protect Joe Biden, that told you he was rational, he was clear, he was lucid. The fake doctor, think about this. Today, the story broke. Joe Biden's doctor, the one that says he should not take a cognitive test because clearly everything's fine, right? It's so fine. This is Joe Biden on a stage. It's not that hard to speak. I'm not even using a teleprompter. He can't even do that right. Right? The doctor that's telling us that Joe Biden's fine is also a business partner with the Biden family. Think about that for a second. And of course, you know, again, if we had actual journalists left in this country, people would talk about these things. They would bring up the point. They would drive home that point. If it was Donald Trump, you're damn right they would be talking about it, rightfully so. If I was Hunter Biden, if that was my laptop, I'd be at Gitmo. And my father would have been the person that sent me there. Hey, we all need a little kick in the ass sometime in our life, okay? Hunter needed it about 50 years ago, but never got it. I'm much cuter, thank you. I like you, baby. So guys, the reality is this. You've seen it. You've seen the attacks. You've seen the unequal administration of justice in our country. You see the way they treat good, hardworking Americans. You see the America Last policies that have failed us and have enriched our enemies and have emboldened our enemies, because that's the reality. Democrat policy and the weakness they exude on a world stage is why we are seeing the chaos and turmoil that we see across the world. It's the nature of predation. It's a story as old as time. Predators prey on the weak, and when America is weak, when they're leading from behind, when they have an incompetence on the world stage, enemies will act. The wars will go away the second my father is elected. By the way, they'll get to the table the second November 5th happened, even before he takes into office, because they realize he'll drive a harder bargain than the morons that would rather, you know, have trans admirals than actually win wars. Right? I mean, have you seen some of this stuff? They're shocked. We can't recruit anyone for the military. I wonder why. Can't quite figure it out. Good, patriotic, hardworking Americans don't want to go die for the transvestite that was given an admiralship simply because they were transvestites, right? I mean, it's not rocket science. It wasn't like they were the greatest soldiers in the world. They were just, they checked a couple more boxes. So, guys, between now and November 5th, there can be no letting off the gas. You must speak to your friends. I'm not so worried about Florida. Feels pretty good, but we still got to win the congressional seat and all the down ticket races. But each and every one of you, you need to call your friends across the country. You need to speak to them. You have to make sure they understand what is happening. You see it around the world. This was an article I read today because it was just so disgusting to me as a father of 5 young children. Here's the article from the Daily Mail. Danish 17-year-old girl who used pepper spray to fight off a rapist near migrant asylum center. Sure, that had nothing, no correlation there at all. Was told she will be prosecuted for carrying a weapon. So a literal victim of rape is going to be prosecuted for defending herself. That is the liberal mindset. That is what Democrat policy will ultimately be in that country. You see them refusing to prosecute crimes here. Only Americans, only patriots, only those people get prosecuted. If you're a criminal element, as long as you'll reliably vote Democrat, you have free reign. We have to speak to our friends. We have to get them engaged. We have to get them involved. And we have to take our country back because it's worth it. The American dream is worth it. Our freedoms and our liberties are worth it. And our children are sure as hell worth it. And we have to fight for them across the board. So God bless you all, Miami. Thank you for your support. Thank you for fighting like you do. I love you guys, and I promise you, as long as we're here, we will fight tooth and nail to save everything you all stand for. You're the best. God bless, Miami.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Eric Trump.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can beat the war, you can talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks. You can be a master, don't wait for luck, dedicate yourself and you go find yourself.
Miami! Welcome to the Great Doral. All right, so I've got a very serious question for everybody. And I'm going to do this in front of Don's kids. Which Trump son do you like more? Do you like Eric? Or do you like Don? Don, that was pretty decisive, I think. Well, guys, welcome to one of the greatest properties in the world. You know, welcome to one of the greatest properties in the world. And you know, this property is a great parallel to our country. When we got it, it was sick as hell. It was run down. The people who ran this property didn't give a crap about it. They didn't put their heart and soul into this property. And I'll never forget, we came in, we bought it around 2011, and my father and myself and Don and Ivanka, we were down here as a family every single day. And we instilled pride in it, and we believed in it, and we fixed it, and we managed it properly. And it's become one of the greatest properties anywhere in the world. And that's so much like our country. You need to have people who actually want to be a cheerleader. You need to have people who actually care, actually have heart and soul. And that's what we did. And honestly, my father's the greatest fighter I've ever seen in my entire life. The hell... You know, guys, I sat in that courtroom every single day because I wanted to be by his side. And honestly, the corruption, I would have never guessed. If you could have zoomed back 8 years, I would have never believed that this was the United States legal system. I never would have thought that they could have fined somebody $500 million for doing absolutely nothing wrong, right? When they're letting out hardened criminals in New York as they run around McDonald's in Times Square and slash the hell out of people, you know, the entire DA is sitting there in the front row giggling and chuckling with the judge that's totally in their pocket. I would have never guessed this could have been the United States of America. And, you know, we've seen these in so many countries. I mean, how many Cubans do we have in the audience tonight? You've seen this movie before. How many Venezuelans do we have here? Guys, you've seen this before. And I'm sitting there as a son. And you know what's remarkable? I've never seen a guy with more determination and perseverance. I'll never forget, they read out 34 bogus guilty felonies. Guilty, 34 times. He stands up with the exact same demeanor that I see him with at 5 o'clock in the morning and 11 o'clock at night.
He turns around, he shakes my hand, we walk out, we go to a fundraiser where he starts fighting for the United States of America again. I'm so freaking proud of him. And believe me, guys, if I didn't stand on the stage, if I wasn't here right now, they wouldn't be hitting me. I'm probably the most subpoenaed person in the history of this country. 110 subpoenas, and I've never gotten so much as a traffic ticket. And the second he went down that aisle, subpoena after subpoena, because they just wanted to get to Donald Trump, and they wanted to get to him because we have a president right now who's freaking incompetent. Absolutely incompetent. This isn't the best of America. In fact, he's the worst of America. Look what's happening to our economy. Look what's happening to everything. But beyond that, look what's happening to our values in this country. Look what's happening to religion. Look what's happening to our Constitution, free speech. The Ayatollah was on Twitter, yet they threw Donald Trump off like a dog. He had to open up Truth Social, which, by the way, is doing awesome. I mean, can you imagine that? They threw the 45th president of the United States off because, that's how weaponized the system is. And guys, they've weaponized every system. They weaponized the FBI. They weaponized the DOJ. They weaponized the media. They've weaponized education. Thank God for Loudoun County moms who came out and fought like hell. By the way, thank God for the moms in this country, because honestly, the job that they did there, no one tougher than the moms in this country. But they did this, and despite what they tried to do, they tried to ruin his image, they tried to ruin his marriage, they tried to ruin his family, they tried to divide all of us. You know what they can't stand? All these people back here, you know what they can't stand? That we sit there as a united front, and we never stop punching back. We never stop punching back. And I can tell you right now that they're not happy. They're not happy after that last debate. You know, that last debate, I said this to my father. I was the first person to speak to him when he came off the stage that night. I go, that debate was over before the guy got to his microphone. Do you see him shuffle across the stage? He's doing... This is not projecting strength to the rest of the world. This is not. No way could he do what we're doing right now. No way could he do what my father's about to do. And by the way, he just got to this beautiful house. He's in the house. How about we send him a little message right now? By the way, looking in that direction, there's another incredible fighter. Has anybody ever heard of Alina Habba in the beautiful red dress right there? You put any corporate attorney in the country, and that girl in that beautiful red dress and those stilettos will walk all over them. She's got more backbone than every one of them combined. Come on, Alina, come up here. Get up here. She's unbelievable. She goes on every single show, every single night, and fights like hell. And we love her and we appreciate her. We love the fighters. We love the fighters, and she's a great one. You want to say something?
I gotta lower this a little bit. I am not 6 foot whatever. But I will tell you one thing. I have sat in courtroom after courtroom fighting for this family for the last 3 years, and it is the proudest job I have ever had. It is. There is corruption like you have never seen, and that is coming from a person who cannot even tell you half of what she's seen. In those courtrooms and those judges and that corrupt Jack Smith and the DOJ that is fighting the Biden fight because he cannot spell Bob backwards, we are going to take America back. And I will tell you right now, I'm doing my part, but you guys being out here are doing yours. Thank you. God bless America. God bless the Trump family.
God bless her. She's really an incredible person. But guys, if there's one thing I can promise you, we're coming up on the RNC in a couple days. From now until November 5th, we as a family are going to fight like hell. We are going to fight every single second of every single day, and we are going to restore the greatest Republican in the history of the world. Joe Biden's going to get the hell out of the White House. And we're going to put the professionals back